Welcome back to Java series. In this video, you will be learning about iteration statements, which mainly includes for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Imagine you want to print a number. So, I am writing a print statement so that it will print this number. Now, let me execute it. So, it will print one hash shown in the console. Now, I want to print a number from 1 to 100. So, what will I do? Will I keep on writing the print statement from 1 to 100 so that every line differs from the number like 1, 2, 3? So will I do that? I won't do it because it is just a waste of time printing from 1 to 100. Right? Right? Right. So it is just a waste of time. So I will make use of a loop. Loop will execute the same statement 100 times and it will print all the numbers from 1 to 100. How will I make a use of loop here? That is possible via the first loop which we would be learning today. The first loop is for loop. Clear? The, this you will be learning about for loop in this video, right? And what exactly is for loop? The syntax goes as for, open the braces. Yes, it starts with initialization where you have to initialize and declare a variable. Next, what you have is a condition. Condition is required because the condition is required because it must print this particular statement n number of times. So that is declared in condition. And next what you have is increment or decrement operator. And followed by a block of statement. What is a block of statement? The code which needs to be executed. Clear? Clear? Now, how will we use this for loop to print a number from 1 to 100? So what I'll do, for the first condition is I will initialize a variable, that is int I equal to 1, because I want to print the number starting from 1. Next I'll write a condition. What is a condition? I less than or equal to 100, because I want to print a number till 100, right? Next followed by I plus plus. I'll explain you why we are incrementing this. Followed by a set of statement. System dot out dot println. I'll print I. I'll close it. Right? Now, this is my program. Clear? Let me comment it out and let. Now, how will it print? Now, if I just click on run, it will print all the numbers from 1 to 100. So, is it visible? So, like you're able to see all the numbers from starting from 1 to 100. So, how it is possible? Let me explain you the working of this. So, what happens? It starts with I equals to 1. For the first, this is the first iteration and it starts with I equal to 1. Clear? I equals to 1. Now, it will check for the condition. What is I? I is something but 1. So, the condition is 1 less than or equal to 100. Condition is true. Now, this condition is passed. After evaluating the second expression, it will directly jump to the code of statements within for loop. Now, inside for loop, I only have printing statement. So what will it print? It will print I. What is I? I is stored as 1. This is your first iteration, right? Now, it will go for second iteration. Now, what will happen? Now, the latest value of I is 1. 1 is gone here to the I is gone to third evolution. Sorry, third expression, I plus plus. I plus plus means like it is an increment operator, right? So, it will be incremented to 2. So, now the value of I is 2, right? Now, this will check for the second expression, that is 2 less than or equal to 100, right? Next, it will print the statement. It is checking for the second condition. This is checking for the second expression, that is condition is true, so it will print 2, right? Now always remember, the first expression is executed only first time, because int I equal to 1 is evaluated only for the first time. So for the second iteration, when I is 1, it will directly move on to the second expression in the for loop. Second expression is the condition expression, right? Condition what we are giving. So it will move on to second expression, ignoring the first expression totally, right? So now I is equal to 2. Now I, so after printing, this will directly jump to I plus plus, means 2 plus plus, which means 3. So now the value stored in, so the value of I is 3. Now to check for the condition. Now I equal to 3. What is the condition? 3 less than or equal to 100, right? 3 less than or equal to 100. Now it will directly come to the printing statement. What is the value of I stored here? 3. Now it will move back to increment or decrement operator. That is where I gets, where 3 gets incremented to 4. This is the fourth expression. Clear? Where I equals to 4. Now it will check for this condition. That is 4 less than or equal to 100. Now it will print this statement, right? Always remember, in the first iteration, in this iteration, the first expression will get evaluated along with the condition. After these two expressions get evaluated, it will directly move on to the set of statement within for loop along with the print statement. Like if you have any statement in the for loop, then even that will be executed. After it get executed, then it will move on to the increment operator. Directly it doesn't increment. Only after executing a set of statement, then it will move on to the increment operator. Clear? Now in the fourth iteration, the value of I is 4. Right? Now the same, now this will be recurring until I becomes 99. Clear? Now I is until I becomes 99. Right? Where 99 is less than or equal to 100. So the value of I would get printed as 99. Now when it comes to, now the next value is I equal to 100 because I gets incremented. Where 100 is less than or equal to 100. So even 100 gets printed. Now all the numbers from 1 to 100 are printed. Clear? And next what? And next after incrementing, what you have? After incrementing, you have I equals to 101. Right? I equals to 101. 101 is less than or equal to 100. So the condition is false. 101 is less than or equal to 100. So when this condition is false, the set of statements doesn't get executed. Clear? As you know, even in if case, when the condition goes false, it will move on to else block. If else block is not there, it doesn't execute anything. Similarly, in for loop, when the condition is false or when it doesn't agree with the condition, the set of statements are skipped, and the loop and the execution comes directly outside of the loop, right? So whatever statements you have outside the loop, that would get executed. So this is about for loop, right? Always remember the syntax followed by any of the simple example. Initially, it starts with initialization where we declare a variable, then followed by a condition. Condition means, which means how many times the set of statement need to be executed. Then followed by an increment or decrement operator, and then a set of statements within for loop. And the most important thing is, while executing, the first expression, whatever you are executing, would be executed only for the first iteration. It would be executed only for the first iteration, and from the second iteration, the latest value of the variable would be taken and it would be executed directly in the condition. Clear? And one more important point to remember, the variable, whatever is used in the for loop, has a scope that it can be only used within the for loop. The variable used in the for loop is limited only to for loop. If I try accessing it outside, if I try accessing the this variable outside, then it would throw me a error. Clear? Now let me try to print it. System dot out println I. Now the latest value of I within the for loop is 100. So it must print me 100, right? But it is not, but it doesn't print because this variable, whatever we have used here, is limited only to this loop. So like when I try using the variable outside the loop, it would throw me a error. So like here you see I is highlighted and I cannot be resolved to a variable. Now let us solve this or let us run this. Yes, I cannot be resolved to a variable. That is where I is not declared. So outside the loop, the scope expires. Clear? So this is about for loop. In the next video, you will be learning about while loop. Thank you.